What's up,
Welcome to
Tom
Tom.
Foolery?
What's going on, Smitty? This is Tom Fuller and Smitty talking sports with balls. If you got balls, if your sport has balls, we're going to cover it. How you been, man?
I've been pretty good. We got a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah, we do.
It seems there's been quite a bit of happening since we've had our technical difficulties, not really been able to record like we wanted to.
A lot of action.
Yeah. So first off, the never too late draft recap.
Yeah.
What happened to your mock draft?
Well, same thing happened to everybody else was Detroit. Yeah.
Are they like the new Bengals?
Huh?
Are they the new Bengals?
They could be. I mean, they made a push at the end of the season last year. I think they're probably going to win that division this year.
But I mean, draft wise, and like
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. No, the Bengals usually don't make that many crazy trades like that. So I don't know, but they could be. I don't know. It was just Detroit and Houston. Houston screwed my mock draft up. I did better than Mel Kiper, though. Mel Kiper only got the first pick right.
So what did you get right?
I got, here, 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Because I got Bryce Young right. I got the teams right. Will Anderson still went to Houston. Paris Johnson still went to Arizona. C.J. Stroud went to the Texans, though, so I didn't get that one right. But I've already beat Mel Kiper. Like, I've already left him in the dust. So that's all that really matters.
Well, yeah. I mean, he makes a lot more money than we do.
Yeah, so
to be wrong.
Give me a call, ESPN, and then I'll be swiftly fired within 6 months.
Okay, going off of that, what do you think of the Stroud play? I always feel that's ingenious by the Texans, how they played that.
They played it well. I honestly think that it seems to me like, we were talking about the test and all that, but it seems to me like that might have been some smoke being blown up people's asses. I don't know, because I think Houston had that planned out all along.
Well, I think Houston was probably the one that leaked it to.
That could be.
Lose value.
That could be because. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. Worked out pretty well for CJ too. He's gonna get that. He's gonna get some big money now too.
Yeah. But the other thing I thought was ingenious by Houston is that by taking Stroud second, that third pick became easy to trade into, because that would have been where everybody would be trying to go.
And then they end
Stroud had they taken Will Anderson with the second pick.
Yeah. So they end up getting the 1 and 1A quarterbacks in the draft. So they got one of them, and then they got the best defensive end in the draft. So, and he can play linebacker. So I mean, they got the best defensive player in the draft and top 3 offensive player in the draft. So right there, right off the bat. So I mean, they hit it out of the park. The team that also filled the Eagles, they're in the Super Bowl last year, and now the draft they have. So they're going to be scary in the NFC. It's theirs to lose.
It seems like they just keep adding weapons to an already dangerous team
in a smart manner.
Yeah,
they didn't do it. I remember when they hired Chip Kelly a while back, and they brought in all them free agents, and it was a complete and utter bust. They're doing it the smart way this time.
So what do you think of their first round draft pick?
I think they're great. I just think they're solid. They added to what they need. Like I said, there's not many weaknesses if they're running the Super Bowl. I mean, they extended Jalen Hurts already, so they just added. I don't know. I don't know. It's just crazy to think about that. It's just crazy to think about they were just in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then they just keep adding weapons.
Yeah.
It's became an arms race for sure.
Oh, yeah. And then I thought the Bengals draft was wonderful.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They were patient. They didn't reach for anybody. They signed Irv Smith for a reason because I don't know. I don't like taking a tight end in the first round anyway. I know some people are upset about that. They still got a good run. They still got a 3-down type back in the third round or the fourth round. The receiver out of Purdue, I think he's going to be the replacement for Tyler Boyd down the road, and he can already return punts and kicks. So I mean, they addressed and battled
in the first round.
Yeah. Well, they needed more pass rushing. Their pass rush was abysmal last year. And of course, my mock draft, whatever, I had Miles Murphy going number 14. So, and a lot of other people had him going way before that. So it was a great value pick too, right there.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like Detroit freed that up for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Gibbs. I would have loved to have Gibbs. I almost guarantee they would have took him if he was there. I was shocked when they did that, but they don't want they paid DeAndre Swift that second contract. Detroit doesn't. I mean, they're already trying to trade him.
So is Spielman the one calling the shot? Who's drafting in Detroit?
I think Spielman's got a lot to do with it.
Because it's almost like the rest of the league went to almost like fantasy value with their draft. Like get weapons, like offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver. Yeah. Those are your first round draft picks. And then you got Detroit in there taking running backs and offensive line backs.
And in the offseason they got David Montgomery from Chicago. And he's a top 25 back in the NFL. So they got Swift ain't staying, so he's gonna be gone. But I think Gibbs has got every bit the skill set Swift has. And I don't know.
I do actually 12. A top 15 pick.
I do know they like throwing to the running back, and Gibbs is perfect for that too. They use the running backs a little differently in Detroit. It'll be the same. It'll be the same type of deal next season with Gibbs and Montgomery, because that was the same thing they had with Swift and Javonte Williams. And Williams led the league in touchdowns last year for Detroit. So Montgomery is going to be their goal line back. So he could be in line to get a lot of touchdowns this year.
So if you had to give an A+ for this year's draft, or you had to pick the valedictorian, which team would it be?
Be Philadelphia and Houston are co-valedictorians.
Okay.
Because they did the most.
Philadelphia's first round pick. Remind me again before I have to break out the Googler.
Yeah, I got to do that. I might have to break out the Googler, honestly.
Did they get the tight end out of Utah?
I'm looking right now. I'm pretty sure they did.
That's like a hybrid tight end.
Yeah, he's a stud. But he's not going to. He's a stud if you're going to use him for what they need to use him for. That's the thing. But
I think the Eagles are an example of, man, if you can hit home run on a first round draft pick quarterback and have him under his rookie deal, you can do some damage. But if you hit a home run on a second round quarterback like they did with Jalen Hurts, then you can start building what they have.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're quite the team.
So who was our first round draft pick?
I'm bringing it up right now. I'm having.
I probably should have Googled that before the show, but
yeah. Why shouldn't I? I know it in my head, but I'm just kind of helter skelter. Yeah. I'm working on it. Sorry about this, folks. From time to time, this happens.
Yeah. Well, we don't have Jamie, the fact checker, here.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, so they got Carter out of Georgia, was with the 6th pick. And then they got the
Nolan Smith. Yeah, they're trying to build that Georgia defense back.
Yeah, and then they got Nolan Smith from Georgia. Yep. And then they got a great tackle. I mean, they're just it's ridiculous. And they got Ringo out of Georgia. He's a pretty good defensive back. They got him in the 4th round. So
yeah, the Georgia Eagles.
Yep. So got Georgia Eagles, and they'll be playing the Ohio State.
Going into last year, I think it was Jalen Hurts or somebody said, I feel like I'm on like a all-star team. Yeah. And people were mocking it. Like, what's the Eagles talking about? What's going on?
I don't know.
Then they come out and just like start blowing everybody's doors off. Like, oh, yeah. Okay.
They're one that they could have. I don't want to throw the word dynasty around, but I mean, you got to win a couple of Super Bowls to have that happen. But I think they're going to put themselves in position for the next few years consistently. So,
well, not just that, but the AFC is going to beat the shit out of each other.
Oh yeah,
like they're in NFC, so there's like hardly any competition. I mean, I'm not going to say hardly any competition because the NFL every week, is difficult. But I mean, you would think for quite a while they're going to be the favorite to come out of the NFC.
Oh yeah, and NFC is a weaker conference right now. I mean, look at the AFC. Look at the quarterbacks.
Oh, I know. I mean, like
you got the top 7 quarterbacks are in the AFC.
Yeah.
I guess you got to throw Hurts in there somewhere right now. But other than that.
But is Hurts really a top 10 quarterback, or is he just in a system that really makes good use of his skill set?
Well, if he's in that system, he's taking advantage of it. I think he's definitely a top 10 quarterback. For sure. I think he's improving his accuracy and touch and decision making on the throwing end too. I think he's a better passing quarterback than Lamar Jackson already.
Well, Lamar Jackson's more of a scramble around.
Yeah.
Like you don't see Lamar Jackson hitting a lot of people in stride. It's more like they're sitting down in a pocket in a zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why he throws to the tight end so often. But so Lamar, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Jalen Hurts is, I would say, I'd put him at 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
so I would. Who are your top 5 quarterbacks then in the league?
Top 5, number 1's Patrick Mahomes. Number 2's Joe Burrow. Number 3 is Josh Allen. Number 4, honestly, a lot of people might disagree with me, but I think Herbert, San Diego. He's just a.
I was wondering if Herbert was going to be on your list.
And then 5 is Jalen Hurts.
I definitely agree with that. I think Josh Allen, talent-wise, is top 3, but I think he ends up trying. He ends up pressing a little too much.
Well, it's like we talked about before. He needs to turn into just a quarterback and not a football player.
Well, yeah, and they need to get him a running back.
Yeah.
All right. So I assume you have your list with you. You want to go through the top 7 picks for the Bengals and your thoughts on each player?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You good?
Yeah, I'm just having some. I keep having technical difficulties. I'm sorry. Okay, we're good now.
It'll sound great.
Huh?
I said it'll sound all the same on the podcast.
Yeah. Uh-oh. There we go. We good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. For first pick, Miles Murphy. I mean, no brainer. Great value from where he was. He's going to improve their pass rush day one. They can rotate. He'll start rotating in day one, and also just like I said before, great value there. They didn't. Duke Tobin's been very good at being patient.
Who is calling the shots for the Bengals? Who's making the draft call?
Duke Tobin. I think
it's him. GM?
Yeah, well, they don't. Mike Brown's still listed as GM, but he's not doing any of that anymore. Tobin, and I'm sure Zach Taylor has some input as well, but I think Tobin's the main guy. He just knows his way around what the Bengals organization does with the salary cap and all that. He's very good at doing what the Bengals need to do.
Where did they pick this guy up at from?
Miles Murphy, Clemson.
No, I mean the Tobin guy.
I'm not sure, honestly. I'd have to look into that. I think he might have started out. But you
could tell, like, there's a point where the Bengals – it started with Marvin Lewis, but there's a point where the Bengals got drastically better in the draft.
Mm-hmm. And there's a while there that they – toward the end of Marvin's tenure, they had some big misses.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes did a big miss.
Well, yeah.
What speedy wide receiver who's probably working at Walmart now?
Yeah, John Ross.
Yeah. Is he even in the league?
I don't think so. I think Al Davis possessed the body of Marvin Lewis there because that was an Al Davis pick all the way. Picking a pure speed guy like that.
Yeah, let's take the fastest wide receiver that you probably could have gotten like the second or third round.
Yeah, and they probably weren't going to draft Mahomes anyway, but I wouldn't think. I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but they had. They were still,
I mean, let's just be honest. He didn't have a lot of smoke coming in to the draft. Nobody's seen what he was going to be.
Yeah, they saw the arm talent, but that's it. They didn't see all this other stuff.
No. I mean, how did you?
No. And the Bengals weren't going to pick him because they were still invested in Andy Dalton at that point.
Okay, that's going to be a big head shake.
Well, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just stating the fact that
I know. I know you don't agree with it, but
yeah, that was bad.
The era of mediocre quarterbacks has kind of went by the wayside. It's like NFL teams have figured out, like, well, you need an elite top 10 quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Or just be like really bad. Like being the mediocre team in the NFL there's no value in it.
No. And I mean, really, like I said, we got them top. So there's still a lot of mediocre quarterbacks because there's still not very many real good ones.
No. I mean, look, you see what these teams do year in and year out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
One amazing stat about Patrick. I got one amazing stat I saw earlier this week about Patrick Mahomes. Career winning percentage when your opponent scores 24 plus points. Patrick Mahomes' career winning percentage is 65%. So he's won 65% of the games when the opposing team scores 24 or more. The next closest is like 400.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's one. That I mean, I know that's off topic a little bit. That's one hell of a tidbit. Since we were talking about Mahomes a little bit.
Well, the thing I just love watching Andy Reid's offense.
Oh,
and it's almost the opposite of the Bengals offense because you watch the Chiefs and there's a motion this, a motion that, and all these different configurations. And the Bengals just like, well, we have three good wide receivers. We're going to line up and beat you.
Yeah. I think
it's
going to change a little bit.
Sometimes.
I think that's going to change a little bit as the offensive line improves. I really do. And they're getting Brown from Kansas City, it was in that offense. So,
all right. So let's move on to the second Bengals pick.
DJ Turner, the speedster from Michigan. Once again, they needed defensive back help, and they got a guy who's maybe the fastest player in the draft, arguably, and he has ball skills too. So I think, despite the fact he came from Michigan, I think it was a good pick.
I think the thing I really like about what the Bengals are doing with the sports site is not only are they drafting need, but it's also like they're filling holes before they become holes.
Mm-hmm. They're being brilliant about that. They know who they're going to have to pay here soon.
Yeah.
So they're filling the holes that they know they're not, they're not going to be able to pay Hendrickson.
No.
He'll be gone. They're not going to be able to pay.
Really be onto something, because I can see a lot of other teams having to do this, especially if you have a quarterback that you're going to have to pay. I mean, when Joe Burrow gets paid, he's probably going to be the top paid quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, he should be. I don't know if he will. I almost see Joe Burrow as the type to be like, no, I'd just rather keep winning and maybe not go that route.
Yeah, he's going to take that money, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to.
Yeah, you got to go for it. You got to.
All right, 3rd round, Bengals.
Jordan Battle, safety out of Alabama, another great pick. I think he's got the potential to be a Von Bell-esque type player. I mean, he's not going to be the leader that Von Bell was right out of the gate, but another shrewd, smart pick. They haven't completely replaced Von Bell and Jesse Bates, but they got a guy who started for the Rams Super Bowl team, and Jordan Battle from Alabama. I mean, that's to go with Dax Hill, who's, I don't know about him. But so, I mean, they didn't get stronger at safety, but there's not this huge drop off that's going to happen next season, I don't believe, at that position.
No, and I think the thing here with the Bengals is the efficiency of it. It's like, what's the value in paying a guy $10 million more?
Yeah.
When exactly. You got all these other people to pay. Like, what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's the variable there that is worth that much extra money?
Yeah. Exactly. I agree 100%.
All right.
Ready for the
4th round.
Charlie Jones out of Purdue. Love this. He's probably going to be at least a contributor on special teams right away. And I just don't have time, but I was really interested in this pick, so I went back and looked at film of him. He's hyper competitive. You can tell that by the way he blocks. He runs great routes.
Didn't he burn Ohio State?
Oh yeah, he burned out about everybody he played. He had a lot of catches. He's going to be Joe Burrow's best friend eventually. And I mean, not on top of Jamar Chase, but he's going to be like an Edelman type.
So you think they're going to play him in the slot?
Oh yeah. When Tyler Boyd goes, he'll be their primary slot receiver. That's the plan anyway, I would think.
Well, yeah. But I mean, you get that guy in the 4th round.
Yeah. Like I said again, just knocked out of the park.
Yeah, the theme for the Bengals is like efficiency and value.
Yeah.
It's like they put their board together, they stuck to their plan, they didn't reach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the things you said earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Like I'm starting to see that more clearly now.
Yeah, they just stuck right to it. They probably had they probably had a plan B in the first round, I'm sure. And instead of, panicking, they went out and got a hellacious value. I mean, it was just an impressive draft. They didn't need an A+ draft.
So we're on to
if that makes any sense.
Yeah. We're on to the 5th round, right?
Yes, sir. Chase Brown out of Illinois. He's kind of not what I would think to complement Joe Mixon. He's not so much explosive. He is slippery. I like the pick just because it's in the 5th round. His production in college was worth probably a 3rd round, could have been maybe a 3rd round pick. So once again, great value there.
But you got to think he's more of a P. Ryan replacement than a Mixon replacement.
Well, yeah, but that makes me worried that Mixon's still going to be on the team. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that's as much as we're talking about efficiency and value, unless Joe Mixon takes a really big pay cut, I don't see a lot of value in Joe Mixon right now.
Yeah, and he might take the pay cut because, I mean, the writing's on the wall. But he ain't going to get paid anywhere else either.
Well, yeah. I mean, he'll get cut, and then he'll get the deal that the Bengals would offer him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I'd also like to see, instead of just cutting Joe Mixon a deal for a more efficient back, how great would it be to hit a home run on a 4th round draft pick, or, how many times the Steelers just plugged in and played a running back?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So 6th round.
We got Andre Losivas, wide receiver out of Princeton. This is 6th round. These are projects. This guy could have a chance to be a field stretcher, if they go empty or something like that. And he could be a potential. He's got a lot of the same characteristics as T. Higgins. So maybe if he pans out, maybe there's not as much pressure to re-sign T. Higgins, but I don't think that's going to happen. But
I mean, a lot of these guys signed 6th or 7th round are expected to be like special teamers, and
yeah.
I mean, probably make less than $1 million a year to play in the league.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of big expectations on this guy.
No. Not at all.
So he took 2 wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably wanting one of them to take Boyd's spot eventually.
Yeah.
Does that mean they're probably signing T. Higgins and Chase, you think?
Yeah, I think that if they can figure it out, they will for sure. That'd be great, honestly.
All right. Did they ever get a tight end?
Nope. I'm fine with it. Irv Smith is serviceable. He's probably every bit as talented as Hayden Hurst. He's not going to be as well liked because he's not as fiery as Hayden Hurst. I mean, I loved Hayden Hurst, I'll be honest, but Irv Smith's not that type, but he'll produce.
Where'd they get him from?
Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those are one of those teams you just don't see a lot of.
Yeah.
From here. That's why I was thinking of CJ going to the Houston Texans. I'm like, I can't even remember a game the Houston Texans were on my TV, like on a regional broadcast.
Yeah. They don't happen too often. That's why I like the NFL Red Zone instead of Sunday.
That's the Red Zone.
Oh yeah, because I do fantasy, so it's good for that too. But just there's no commercials, and every time the game's in the Red Zone, it goes to that. So it's just it's much cheaper than Sunday ticket. I don't know how that got. I don't know how that guy goes 7 hours without taking a piss though.
Who's that?
The host of it. There's no commercials, so he's on the air the whole 7 hours.
Oh,
yeah, from the first or 6 hours. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff games until the 7 p.m. until the afternoon games are done. So it would be around 7 hours because they run to 8.
With no break.
No break. There's no commercials whatsoever. He's on air the whole time.
I don't even know if I can make it through this podcast without having to take a bathroom break.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. There's got to be something under the desk or something. There has to be.
Yeah, there's got to be something. Anyway.
Yeah.
So 7th round, who you got?
7th round. Well, we also got the punter out of Michigan in the 6th round too. We traded.
Oh yeah.
Brad Robbins out of Michigan.
So the Johnson experiment's over, you think?
If Robbins punted like he did on Saturdays, yeah, for sure.
Because they kept him on the practice squad for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then he finally took Huber's job, which
what is it?
He took Johnson took Huber's job, Kevin Huber.
Yeah,
and then now I think Robbins is probably going to take Johnson's job. We'll see how it plays out, but I just think he's better. Pains me to say it because one guy's from the Ohio State and the other guy's from team up north, but you gotta be objective.
Yeah, well, once they come to the Bengals, then it's all shakes out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Barry Larkin went to Michigan too, but
yeah. He did.
And so did Derek Jeter, and the Reds didn't draft him.
Mm-hmm. So did Hal Morris. The Reds didn't draft him either. They got him in a trade with the Yankees. They didn't draft Hal Morris.
Oh. Yeah. So who was our 7th round pick, man?
DJ Ivy, cornerback out of Miami. Never know. Might get on special teams, maybe shock the world. Has happened before. But still, I mean, still a prudent pick. You can never have too many defensive backs.
No.
Never.
And like we were talking, like you get anybody in the 7th round that ends up being even contributing or makes the team.
Yeah. For sure. That's all you're hoping for.
Yeah. I mean, okay, make the 52-man roster.
Yep.
Make us better.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So did you get any golf in this weekend?
I did not, unfortunately. I'm playing next Saturday morning, hopefully, if the weather permits.
In a scramble or what?
Nah, it's me and my buddy Brandon against his cousin's fiance and somebody else. We'll probably go 2-on-2, like a 2-on-2 scramble.
Like a best ball kind of?
Yeah.
No money down?
Oh, we'll see about that.
Oh, okay.
I won't push.
I like playing the best ball with like 2 guys because it just kind of relaxes me to like hit my shot, knowing that I got somebody behind me. And I'm not going to like maybe play my ball all the time.
Yeah. And it speeds up the pace of play too. So that's always good because we're playing at Majestic Springs and they do tee times about every 7 minutes. So it's not
tracking for me playing in Germany when we had tee time. You have like people waiting on you. You're like, I'm going to hit this in the crease, right?
Yeah. See, I actually like it.
You like it?
Yeah, it don't bother me at all.
Really?
Mm-mm. But yeah, so it's gonna it'll probably be a long day because Majestic's very, very busy all the time. So
where's Majestic at?
It's out on it's outside of Wilmington, like not the part of town where Walmart is, but the other end of town.
Oh, okay.
About 4 or 5 miles outside of that. You can get there on 22 or 73.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's a very nice course. It's kind of link style a little bit. I hate when people say link style course because it ain't next to a sea. So, but I mean, it's just a really nice course.
Does link style essentially mean like crazy ass bunkers and long grass?
Seaside golf. Yeah, it's on Oceanside. Like Pebble Beach is a links course.
See, when I think links, I think like Scotland or.
Oh
like,
yeah, for sure.
Like if you hit it off the fairway, you're out there with goats trying to find your ball.
Yeah. But yeah, it's probably my other. I mean, Buckeye Hills is my favorite course just because it's emotional attachment. It's the first place I ever hit a golf ball, all of that. So, but being objective,
just of it. Nobody listening will probably know any of these places. So,
yeah, well, it's all right.
Yeah,
local courses, But yeah, Majestic is probably one of the top 10. It's actually been voted one of the top 10 courses in Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on Golf Advisor. But now, then the thing is, 18 holes of golf there is like $39, and you get a chance to pay one of the top 10, something that was ranked top 10 in Ohio. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's walking or with a cart?
With a cart.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So back on to some sports that aren't us. I seen somebody post on Facebook the other day. They're like, "Go Reds! We're only 5.5 games back of first place." But they're like 15-20 now, I think. Or
yeah, they got shellacked today.
Yeah, like 17 runs.
17-4. Yeah, so the guy gives. So here's another David Bell, just greatest hit. So your starting pitcher gives up 14 runs, through 2 innings. Just leave him in for a couple more innings.
Well, yeah, why not?
But he immediately pulled him out and destroyed the bullpen. Bullpen had to pitch 8 and a third innings today, something like that. So just brilliant, because you're going to come back. They're going to come back and win this for sure.
Yeah.
They did hit 4 home runs today, but
just blow up your bullpen and then lose every chance that you have to win the rest of the series.
Yeah. Brilliant.
What's the last Reds competent manager?
Jack McKeon.
I'm glad you said that. I like Jack McKeon.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's got to be Jack McKeon.
Before we had Price.
Yeah.
Sorry, Baker. Are you gonna cry now?
No, just the Brian Price tenure was just. It was like. It's like the definition of irrelevance. Like it was just
what they do now.
It was just like a void. It was nothing. I don't know why this makes me laugh.
But baseball's not like the NFL. Like you're not tanking and then getting a starter the next year.
No, it's a long process. There was some positives today that you could take out of the day. Tyler Stevenson finally hit a home run, his first of the year. He's been mirrored in a terrible slump, but he hit a home run today, and he still struck out looking, which he's done that way too much this year.
Are you on 700 WLW or you buy into Bally's?
No, I just do the WLW. I just listen to him. I mean,
so that was one of the questions going into tonight. Like, tell me why I should watch the Reds.
I think there's a lot. I think they're kind of fun to watch. On the few occasions I've watched them, I've mostly listened to them. But listening to, I mean, there's some good young talent there that's doing a little bit right now already. You got TJ Friedel and Steers doing good, and then Jonathan India is back to being Jonathan India. He had a little Willie Mays Hayes syndrome last year, tried to bulk up and become a power hitter, pure power hitter. So in the offseason, he went back down to his original weight, and he's been producing. He hit a home run today and a double. So, I mean, there's some definite positives there. Honestly, they're not nearly as bad as they were last year. Not even close. They're not going to lose 100 games.
Has he maxed out and what he's going to be?
India?
No, Senzel.
He's been hot too. I don't know. Maybe he's finally healthy because he's been a pleasant surprise so far. Maybe we get a good season out of him, but I don't know what it's going to be after that. And I think he might have maxed out I don't know what's going to happen with him, to be honest with you. It's just he's such a wild card because he's on top of the world right now, but tomorrow he could blow an Achilles.
Yeah. So here's I actually want to write a piece on this, but would they have Street at first base today?
Steers.
Sears?
Steers. I think it's Steers.
Oh, Steers with this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Missed a letter there. Tells you how much I'm following, but how much are you I know you have to bring Joey Votto back.
Yeah.
You have to build his value. But then how much does that set back your young talent and your prospect?
Yeah. That's true. But they could I think Votto needs a DH anyway when he comes back.
Well, he's 40 years old, right?
Yeah. No, he's 38 or 39.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he's up there. And then so you could kind of platoon Steers and somebody at first base a little bit so they could both get playing time. Because they're bringing it. I mean, I'm just saying it's going to happen. They're going. You're right. They're going to bring Votto back eventually, and he's going to play. So they just got to figure out
somewhere, or is he get benched for this?
I think benched. I mean, they got some guys putting some heat on right now in AAA too. The first baseman there, Encarnacion. I can't. It's like a two-part last name. But he's been knocking the cover. He's been raking. They got some guys down there, but they're going to wait till later in the season because of the club control. So
I'm glad you brought that up because the Reds seem to be one of the worst not the worst, but as worst if I got drafted to the Reds, they're going to try to club control you as long as they can. If they think you're big.
Yeah, there's no doubt that's happening. Yeah, that's their MO. Because they want to represent themselves as poor, so that's what they do.
Want to represent themselves as poor?
That's the way I see it. The whole we're small market, yada yada yada. Not small market, huge regional fan base, multiple states. So they just don't want to spend money. The Castellinis don't. That's plain and simple. So that's the way this organization is going to be as long as they own them.
So what fixes it?
Nothing until the Castellinis are willing to sell. If they want to keep running, it's just going to be this way. We might hit the rebuild might hit for a year, and we might got to catch lightning in a bottle every now and then. I think that's just the way they want to be. They want to be. That's what it seems like.
So you think Cincinnati's just a mediocre franchise that's, as long as it's making a profit, they're okay being mediocre?
I haven't seen the evidence to the contrary for 11 years now.
I mean, that's a true statement. As far as not seeing any evidence.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why you would buy a Major League Baseball.
I don't get it either.
Not want to be anything better than what they've been.
Yeah.
other than, oh, we can play, or we can pay these players and we can still make a profit off our product.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that they do get right is the ballpark experience. I like to just go and watch the game, but there's plenty of stuff. There's plenty of amenities and stuff to do for people there. But I'm just trying to find something positive to say about them, and it's really hard.
I'm with you. I live like 3 miles from the Chillicothe Paints. I've been saying for years, like, man, I'm just going to start following like the Chillicothe Paints. It's probably just as easy as being a Reds fan, or easier.
Oh yeah, for sure. Cheaper.
Yeah, way cheaper.
I guess one thing that does, one thing that does kind of surprise that they extended Hunter Green. I didn't think that would happen. So maybe that's a sign
that they signed Hunter Green.
Mm-hmm.
But he's kind of all I got. But
yeah, but I just didn't see them. I didn't see him. Still didn't see him extending him already.
Well, maybe that's good for the future.
I agree with it, but I'm just saying maybe that's something in the right direction. We'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, they're not nearly as bad as they were last season. Today's game, that was bad, but that happens from time to time. I've seen a lot of blowouts.
Well, I mean, when you're starting pitcher, I've been there. Like I have. Like, I don't want to get too much in my own story, but when I was on JV at Benedictine, which a JV team and a junior college team are way different things.
Yeah.
Because most guys that went to junior college went there because they're getting drafted. And most of the guys on a JV team are there because they can't pitch at a D3 level yet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the best and the worst scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I gave up 5 runs in 5 innings, which like an ERA of like 9.
Yeah, it'd be 9.
Yeah, against Juliet Junior College. But the fact of the matter was, it wasn't like I gave up 5 home runs. Like, bases were loaded. Like, I pitched out of the stretch the entire time.
Yeah.
I really probably could have gave up about 12 runs. And it just happened. Like, somebody hit a hard liner in a second. Like, it wasn't anything I did.
Yeah.
But you get in those moments as a pitcher and it's like, man, I can't. You start feeling like you're just throwing up beach balls up there. Like, well, what do I got to do to get this ball past this guy?
Yeah.
But I'm also to the point like, okay, you're already down 14 runs. How many pitches have you thrown? Like, you might as well leave him out there. You're not going to win the game.
Yeah. David Bell's a buffoon. He's worse than Dusty Baker. He is.
But these managers got to act like they're trying their best to win no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you need to take your foot off the gas and be like, okay, I'm not trying to win today anymore.
Yeah, at some point, I mean,
bring Paul O'Neill in from right field. Let him fucking
anything.
Yeah.
Anything. I mean, it's It was just just so dumb. So dumb.
I got one more topic but I want to breach this topic because Zach Taylor is one of the only coaches in the Cincinnati region, or since we've been friends, that I've ever heard you say anything positive about.
Yeah. That's true. I just think he's.
Why do you like Zach Taylor? Like what?
I think he's a good.
Slack, and I'm like, from all the people that Tom gives slack to, Zach Taylor's the one that he likes.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you a couple reasons. First reason, I think I have complained. If you go back through my tweets, I have complained a lot about play calling from him. I don't think that's his main strong suit. I think he's an excellent culture builder CEO. I think he's built a different culture there. I mean, Joe Burrow helps. Don't get me wrong, but I think Zach. I think they play hard for him. I think I just think it's
they
more.
Definitely do. I mean, you don't get to the Super Bowl by accident.
Yeah. And the second reason is probably a non-football reason, but when the Hamlin tragedy happened, DeMar Hamlin, when that whole thing happened,
Bills.
Yeah, the way Zach Taylor handled that just gave me a huge amount of respect for him.
I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just true. He's a professional. I mean, I just have newfound respect for him recently, and just looking and putting in perspective. And I just think the vibe there is different. I think it's a positive vibe, and I think he's got a lot to do with that.
I can agree with that, obviously, but I think he's probably outstanding, probably A+ character.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like you don't find that a lot in the NFL. Like you see people on camera and doing this and doing that, but the legit, human being, being a good person, like you just don't get that a ton.
Yeah, no, you really don't. You really, really don't. And then, I just like him. I mean, for now, anyway. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'll be cussing him by like week 2 or 3, but
oh yeah,
I'm glad we got this on record.
Yeah.
So my final topic after that is we had an OSU receiver go to Iowa.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Brown. He wasn't going to see the field this year. So I think he made a business decision.
Right? That's who it was?
Caleb Brown.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, I think he made a kind of a business decision. Iowa's killed it in the portal.
They have.
They've upgraded you or I would probably be an upgraded quarterback for what they had. That was the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
But they got the Michigan quarterback.
Yeah, they got McNamara. They got Caleb Brown now. I mean, that's two. Caleb Brown's going to be a start. He's going to be a starter there now.
Yeah.
They ain't got no one in that wide receiver room with his talent. But he just went. He wasn't going to sniff. I mean, he wasn't going to sniff the field.
No, they said he had one catch this year. Whatever.
Yeah. So.
You had a guy with 6 knee surgeries and bad that got a touchdown reception.
Yeah, that was one of the best. That was so awesome.
Oh, that was.
Yeah. See, that's one of the things though. Back to CJ Stroud for a second. That concerns me. Is CJ Stroud's the quarterback of that team. You could see it if you watch the sidelines all year. They're rallying around Bab on the sidelines. That should never happen. You should be rallying around the quarterback. That concerns me.
Why?
Huh? Well, I mean, is he a pure leader? That's.
Oh, you mean concerns you moving forward with Texas?
Yeah.
I have nothing against God or Christianity or anything like that. I'm all about it. If that's your thing, go for it. But he doesn't rub me the wrong way. Well, okay. He does rub me the wrong way. He's 0-2 against Michigan.
Yeah.
For one. Like, you can't be in Ohio State lore and be 0-2 against Michigan.
Mm-mm.
Unless you're John Cooper. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
And then would always like, oh, praise God first thing. Like he was so rehearsed all the time. And I think the first time I seen him kind of not rehearsed was after the draft, after he was actually drafted.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman. I'm like, oh shit, this is like really CJ Stroud. Like, this is him.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's this been the whole time?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I can definitely see where you're going with that from there. It was a different person.
But it's like that once that weight was released off of him, and he's like, oh, this guy does this. And I tell him he's got to work on this. And I'm like, I thought that was amazing, but
yeah,
I'm with you. I'm reserved about his leadership because I think if you come off like that to an NFL locker room, you're going to come off as like stale and how do I put it? Like, dudes aren't going to want to listen to that.
No,
like,
they're going to send it out.
Like week one.
I get an immature vibe.
Yeah.
With him.
I do too.
Like just an immature, just some of the I just get that vibe. We'll see.
I'm
rooting for him. I'm just being honest with my opinions about him. I'm rooting for CJ Stroud.
That's what I pay you all this big money to do. Be honest. Well, man, it's been great.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we do it again on Wednesday.
Hopefully.
And I'm probably gonna listen to some more Reds games and dive into some stuff. But
and the Cowboy this year has been he's bringing the Marty Brenneman spirit. He's been very vocal this year.
Really? I need to see it. So this week, my goal is I'm going to listen to 700 WLW, listen to my Reds, dive in, try to get in, figure out this roster.
Yeah.
Number one sport, and then and we'll dig into it on Wednesday.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, man. Take it easy.
You too, Smitty. Have a good night.
Yep.
Night, everybody.
Night.